Hello, everybody, and welcome to MAWS Talks Wrestling. Today is Wednesday, February 19th, 2014. I am your co-host, Lunakage.
I'm the second co-host, Glenburg. Hello, everyone.
Second co-host, it's kind of,
Yeah, no,
co-host implies that there's like two of us.
yeah, I just thought about that. It sounded kind of goofy.
The reason why I say co-host is because, we're co-hosts. It's not, I'm
Yeah,
not number one and you're number two. You know what I'm talking about? It's
yeah.
a team effort.
No, I know. It sounds pretty goofy.
I'm trying to put you over, man. You keep selling yourself short.
Shh, I'm the second unified WWE champion now. All right. Yeah.
So we got some stuff to talk about. Today is our last show before Elimination Chamber, so we got that to talk about and our predictions and what we want to happen, what we think will happen. We also got the past Raw to cover. I guess you could say we could cover TNA as well, but I mean, God, like since we do this on a Wednesday, you know, Impact is tomorrow, so like every time we go to do this, Impact is far from my mind because it was like damn near a week ago that it happens.
Yeah. Got to do a recap. Be like, okay, this was the most prominent events that occurred.
Right.
Yeah.
Shit. So yeah, we got quite a few things to talk about, but let me open it up with a thought that I had on the way home from work today. I was thinking about not the Wyatt family, but Bray Wyatt and just him in general. And I like the guy because he's cool. Like he's a good wrestler, he's good in the ring. He's got his promos are like a breath of fresh air too.
Every time.
'Cause they're so different. But like it made me think. Like I hadn't really thought about it until just then. But he's a fat wrestler. He's not he's not a skinny dude. He's not a bulked up dude. He's and like there's obviously been plenty of other fat wrestlers that have been successful, but not in the same way. You got guys like well, this is a good transition, but Big Daddy V, who just passed away.
Yeah,
Not
unfortunately.
too long ago. Yeah, so rest in peace for him.
Rest in peace.
But he was a really big guy. He was booked as a monster. Then you got Samoa Joe. I guess I'll count him too, even though this isn't this is pretty much WWE talk. But
Yeah.
Samoa Joe, in another way, he's pretty much booked like a monster too. He's just like an agile monster.
Yeah.
You got other guys who are fat like Mark Henry and Big Show, but they weren't always fat and they're booked like giants, big monsters. So when I think about it, the only other guy that I can compare Bray Wyatt's current character to would be Mankind.
Okay.
Yeah. So like think about that. Like think about all the characters and personalities that Mick Foley has kind of been. And I'm not just talking about his straight up alternate characters, but I mean like, Mankind, he was like this sadistic fucking psycho weirdo, and Bray Wyatt is this sadistic psycho weirdo.
Right.
So it wouldn't be too far fetched. Like for example, Bray Wyatt becomes successful. He's still young, so he's got a pretty full career ahead of him, assuming he doesn't get in trouble or get injured or anything. So if you look at a guy like that, he could be Bray Wyatt, the character, without having to always be the creepy psychopathic weirdo. And I just kind of was thinking about how believable it would be for him to assume like a happier personality as well somewhere down the line.
That's the cool thing about wrestlers who use like a first and last name. They just pretty much have different phases of their characters, but it's not like a different name and change altogether.
I mean, like I could easily see Bray Wyatt, even like, for example, how Kane, when he's a good guy, every once in a while he'll do funny shit. Like and it makes you laugh a little bit harder because you know it's not just a stooge doing it; it's fucking Kane doing it.
I remember when he did that one thing when he was like, the kind of fun the entire family can enjoy it. He said something like that. That was funny as hell.
Yeah. Fucking when he did like the trombone, the air trombone or whatever with Santino that one time.
Yeah.
That was pretty funny. And then everything that he did with Daniel Bryan when they were Team Hell No. You know, stuff like that.
Yeah. Like therapy sessions.
Right. Fucking Bray Wyatt, this character, obviously as he's doing it right now, it's a great way to introduce him because you're establishing him as a threat and a legitimate contender for anything.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, I don't think as long as they try certain things to keep it going and keeping it fresh, like, it's not going to get stale because him as a character, even without the Wyatt family, because eventually it's just going to be just Bray Wyatt.
Right.
They could keep him around as a singles competitor and keep him doing different things. I mean, he could easily just be a babyface and have a gimmick where, you know, he's Bray Wyatt, but he's turned a new leaf. Maybe he wants to be a funny guy. He wants to like dress up as Santa Claus during the Christmas specials, you know, shit like that, like Mick Foley used to do. But thinking back to whenever Mick Foley got really serious about something and got pissed off, he would just be like, "Oh, I'm Cactus Jack now," and then everybody would shit their pants, you know? It could be the same thing where Bray Wyatt is just smiling and happy and shit, but then, you know, somebody gets under his skin too much and then suddenly fucking Bray Wyatt fucking from the Wyatt family is back and, you know, he's fucking doing his crab walk and whatever. And I don't know. I'm just like, when I thought about it, it made me really excited to see how he progresses in his career. And I hope he does have a long one because I'm like, without Mick Foley himself around, I kind of, you know, after thinking about that, I kind of view Bray Wyatt as like the next coming of a Mick Foley.
Yeah, and it's already like a giving and just great that he already has amazing mic skills.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because if he was just a wrestler, you know, then they will try to do a million different characters to see what fits. But yeah, his mic skills will go a long way, I agree.
Okay, so now that we got that little, what is that, a prelude to our show? I guess you could say?
Food for thought.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's, I guess we could go over Raw now. Or actually, let's start it off by the last SmackDown. I didn't get to see it, but the last episode of SmackDown had Cesaro, not Antonio anymore.
Nope, just Cesaro.
He sold his last name for a title shot. His first name, my bad. He sold his first name for a title shot. He beat Randy Orton clean. That was last SmackDown, right? I'm not going crazy.
It was.
Okay,
yeah.
Because like suddenly I had a shot of deja vu. Oh wait, yeah, that's right. Because we talked about it last episode because I gave away spoilers. Mm-hmm. But it's not a spoiler anymore.
It happened, so it must be true.
Yeah. Cesaro beats Randy Orton clean, the World Heavyweight Champion. And that leads us right into Raw during his match with Cena, which was awesome. Like, it really was a good match. I liked it a lot.
See what happens when WWE lets more talent compete in the main event?
Yeah, I mean, like, fucking Cena, when he tries, he's not bad. Like, I don't know if it's still cool to hate John Cena just because, but, like, he's the top guy. So there's already an air of importance in every match he's in. So when you throw somebody in there that makes the match really good, then it's like 5 times more special because it's the top guy, John Cena, a fucking young, hungry talent, and they have a great match regardless of what kind of match it is. And I thought the same thing about the Daniel Bryan match that they had at SummerSlam. I thought that was amazing too.
Right.
Like, it seems like John Cena doesn't always try when he's facing the other guys, but when he fucking tries, and you got somebody else in there that also is trying, then it comes off amazing.
Yeah, he's using 30% of his power.
Yeah, and I think that's the biggest disconnect when you see Cena versus Orton Like it feels like both of them are just always going through the motions, especially with each other when they're facing each other. Like it just doesn't feel like a good match, even though they're trying to, like for example, during their last pay-per-view match at Royal Rumble. Royal Rumble.
Well, yeah, because
they basically tried to bring back the Attitude Era main event style, like The Rock and Stone Cold had with each other. Fucking like kicking out of their finishers, kicking out of each other's finishers. Like, oh, I'm gonna hit Randy Orton with the RKO. Oh no, he kicked out. This match is great, guys. You know, like it seemed like not a parody, because that would be the wrong word, but it seemed more like
paying homage or something.
Yeah, it seemed more like a tribute than it actually seemed like, you know, a good, you know, natural kind of thing to do during the match. But like the whole John Cena versus Cesaro thing on Raw, it was kind of a perfect example of how a match can be great without the need to kick out of people's finishers. Yeah. Because not once did, except for the finish, not once did Cesaro get hit by the attitude adjustment until he got beat. And at the same time, John Cena never kicked out of the neutralizer either. But the match still went on a relatively decent amount of time. It was still good. It still had a bunch of spots that were cool and still had some near falls and stuff that kept you excited, and it was great. And I can't wait to see.
What was you gonna say? You can't wait to see what?
I can't wait to see Cesaro in more main event shit.
Yeah, and I was just gonna add 2 points. So yeah, I think, you know, the match flow, especially with John Cena, really depends on who he's fighting, because, you know, Orton has that slow style of wrestling. You can't really always be that intense when you fight him.
Right.
But Cesaro, he brings a lot to the table, and I did like how he reversed the attitude adjustment when he landed on his feet.
Oh yeah, that was crazy.
That was hype.
And John Cena even he reverses the giant swing with by just straight up fucking doing a fucking sit up, damn near vertical sit up, just a DDT Cesaro. Like that shit was great.
Right.
The second rope suplex from the apron that Cesaro did to John Cena, like I seen him do it to Sami Zayn, and I thought it was still cool, but it wasn't as cool because it was Sami Zayn. Then you do it on Cena, a guy who's much bigger, then it becomes a much bigger deal when this guy pretty much uses his back muscles to lift a 260-pound man like that. Like, I don't know if you've ever tried a deadlift suplex. Like,
no.
Like Cena can only help so much during that particular suplex. Like, you saw, if you look back, like look at the replay or something, at one point when Cena is perfectly horizontal to the floor, like Cena is done helping. Like he can't really do anything else at this point. Like his legs are up. He's basically saying, "Oh God, don't drop me on my fucking head." And Cesaro is just like, "Oh, I'm fucking strong as hell," and finally gets him over. And like he starts falling back before Cena's even vertical. So it's like he's like, "Oh, I need a little bit of extra support here." But it was a great fucking superplex thing. I wonder what he calls that, if he has a name for it.
Yeah, probably got to research it.
Like if he doesn't have a name for it now, he should give it one. Like maybe the super duper plex.
Something so simple.
Or the ultraplex.
Ultraplex.
Or the perplex.
Perplex.
Because I'm perplexed at how somebody could be that fucking strong.
Lifting dead weight and stuff.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah, that match was good.
I think Cesaro, they really need to make sure they start using him more. Like, even though he didn't win against Cena, it shows that they can at least still give Raw a quality main event instead of a half-ass 6-man tag. or something.
They basically said that Cesaro isn't the one in the chamber. That doesn't matter. It's Christian.
Because he always needs one more match, one more opportunity.
I mean, Christian, he's not. He's like on his way out, and I don't mean out of the WWE. Like that could be true, but that's not what I mean. He's on his way out of, being a performer. Like he should probably just straight up retire pretty soon.
Yeah.
Because he's not really doing anything. He's not that believable anymore, and that's mostly due to WWE, like how they book him normally. But he's. I just feel like he's filler for this for the Elimination Chamber match. Like he's lost. I think he's lost every single promotional match for the Chamber. I know he lost against Randy on what was it, on SmackDown?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was on SmackDown. He lost against Daniel Bryan this Monday on Raw. Even when he was teaming up with Sheamus and I think one other person, they lost to the Shield. Like just him being on the team meant that they lost. So like I can't remember if he actually won anything, but I do know that that's 3 examples of him just losing the matches and promotion for the Elimination Chamber.
I really only remember him winning like a mid-card match that had nothing to do with the world title.
Right. Like they just don't want to paint him as a legitimate competitor, and I don't know if they've got a plan for it or if they just say fuck it. It's like an inside joke in the WWE now. Let's make Christian look like a tool.
They make him look incomplete, basically. Like he comes to the ring, does all this, Captain Charisma stuff, and yeah.
And like if you think about it, the match that he had with Daniel Bryan, he didn't even get kneed. Like he got beat with a roll up. I mean, at least it was reversing the kill switch. I'm sorry, I still call it the unprettier. But at least it was reversing his finishing move. But still, he got beat with a fucking roll up without distraction, things like that. It was just, I'm gonna roll you up.
No one to blame. No one to blame but yourself.
Right. And then, technically, Randy Orton is 1 for 5 in these matches because he still, even though it was by DQ, he still lost that match against Sheamus on Raw. Yeah. When they had the big ass brawl and shit. And the way I see it, if they were going to do a big brawl to interrupt one of these matches, they couldn't have picked a better match than Randy Orton versus Sheamus, because no one really cared about the outcome of that match, I don't think.
And it was already the end of the show, so you have to leave a cliffhanger leading into the pay-per-view. They weren't just going to say, see you this Sunday, and everyone's in the back.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's true too, but it's just like when I saw this match, I'm like, why is this the main event? We had Daniel Bryan already wrestling. We had fucking Cesaro versus Cena, which could have easily been the main event. So they give us Randy Orton versus Sheamus. It's like there had to have been a reason. Oh, that's the reason, fucking because it's going to end in a DQ, big ass brawl. And then the Wyatts go at it with the Shield finally after 2 weeks of not touching each other but teasing it.
Right, just to stare down. And we might as well segue into the next one because you notice with the Shield, Roman Reigns is being kind of portrayed as the leader at this point. Like he's up here stepping in the center. Yeah. He's the main one on the front line, and like Rollins, and Ambrose just standing there. After just straight up bodying fucking Mark Henry. Right.
Basically making Ambrose feel like, man, I would have lost that match last week. But then Reigns comes in here and just squashes Mark Henry like he ain't shit.
Uh-huh.
So he starts to attack Mark Henry, and fucking Reigns looks at him. He's like, what are you doing?
Yeah, like...
I thought that was cool. Like
that was funny. Like... like normal instincts, it's like all 3 of them should probably jump him, but he's like, you look like a fool, man.
Yeah. Like, I don't know, like, overall, fucking, you got Reigns and Rollins kind of starting to show a little bit of the babyface kind of characteristics there.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to them being faces. Like, not even necessarily just Reigns. Like, Reigns, I don't know if I'm going to like him a lot, but I like him now, so that's cool. Rollins, as long as he actually gets somewhere and isn't relegated to just being mid-card cannon fodder Kofi Kingston title matches, then I think Rollins might end up being one of my favorite members, because like he's got, I like his look. He's one of the few guys with long hair, and Reigns does too, but he's huge.
Right.
Rollins, his blackout is kind of cool. I don't really. It's not my favorite finishing move, but then again, I don't really like the GTS too much either.
I guess it works for his build, so.
But yeah, like Ambrose is going to be cool. He's definitely more suited for a heel. And these guys, as long as they fucking continue to push them, their breakup is, as much as I, don't want them to break up yet, their breakup is actually going to, basically give us 3 good members of the roster now.
Yeah, I feel like at the Elimination Chamber, it's probably going to end up being a power thing, a power struggle. Like, Reigns wants to end the match, Ambrose wants to end the match, and then, like,
right.
Boom, Luke Harper comes out of nowhere with something,
Yeah.
Bray Wyatt.
I'm just hoping that it's going to be a good match, because I'm looking forward to this match a lot.
Yeah.
And clearly, all of the WWE Universe is clearly looking forward to it as well.
The thing I like about this match is these are 2 legitimate stables. They're not just like a team of 3 WWE superstars against the Wyatt family.
Yeah, like literally the second Wyatt family debuted and started doing cool stuff, like it was always in the back of my mind. I was like, man, Shield versus Wyatts would be cool, because you got 2 3-man teams like going at it. Like that'd be great. But then I'm like, they can't do it now because it's 2 heel stables.
Yeah, now it's because they screwed them out of the chamber, obviously, and I guess you picked the lesser of 2 evils.
And that's the thing, though, because like when it comes to a match like this, and that's the beauty of how this was kind of booked. The Shield are the de facto faces of this rivalry.
Right.
They're still heels, like just in general, but like whenever they are faced with the Wyatts, they do the babyface shit.
Mm-hmm.
They were the ones that were ready for the fight. Even Ambrose, like Ambrose is still being as heel as he possibly can be, but he was still ready to fucking, get in there and fight with the Wyatts.
Yeah.
Then the Wyatts backed out the same way like a heel would. Like, how about we fight right here tonight?
Yeah.
You know what? No, not tonight.
Climb the apron, act like you're gonna go in the ring, exit, jump down, walk away.
And fucking when, we had our second Wyatt and Shield standoff this week on Raw, but they got closer to each other this time. The Wyatts actually stepped into the ring. But they eventually backed off, and then the crowd booed, because they're supposed to.
Because they probably were like, boo, deja boo.
Right. So you got, in the main event, fucking randomly, when Seth Rollins came in and started beating up Sheamus, at first I was like, what? Why? And then, like, everyone else started piling in. I'm like, oh, that's why. Even though it didn't make sense to be, like, there really didn't need to be the Shield and Wyatts in this particular brawl.
It could have just been a chamber participant.
Right, like, it didn't really make much sense, but it was good that they were in there, because, like, eventually the lights go off, the Wyatts come out, all the chamber guys are, like, kind of laid out already, and you got the standoff happening again, and then they finally go to blows, like fucking the crowd's just going nuts, and then eventually the chamber guys get back in, and everyone's hitting everyone, and you don't know what's going on, and it was very similar to one of those, like, fucking Attitude Era shit back in the day when shit like that would go down.
Yeah.
You got just everybody showing up and beating the fuck out of each other. It's like, what a great way to advertise your pay-per-view than to have like every member of both of the main events just start beating the fuck out of each other.
Yeah, because who just wants to see one person be like, this Sunday, history will be changed, and then it's like only 2 people to represent the match or something.
Yep. And I just like kind of the segue, not a segue, but I was just reminded that Batista is still a thing, and this shows you how little he matters.
Yeah, if he doesn't even have a lot of screen time on Raw. We only saw him during that backstage segment, pretty much.
What a great way to get a returning Batista, your Royal Rumble winner. What a great way to get people caring about him than to immediately put him in a little feud with somebody that no one gives a fuck about.
Yeah, and just that, and that he's not getting any screen time. You'd think the person who won the Royal Rumble will be all over the main event. He should be in the, he should be all over that, not just.
Yeah,
he looks like a mid card right now.
I mean, he should be mid card, my personal opinion. But thing is, like, just like I was saying, I forgot Batista was even fucking a factor because you got these 2 like super hot main events going on, and Batista's toiling away with Alberto Del Rio, and we're supposed to believe that he's going to be in the main event of WrestleMania after this. Like, I don't know. Just completely disregarding the fact that, I want Bryan or Punk in the main event. Just disregarding that completely. Like, fucking, you get the guy winning the Rumble, and then you put him in there in his pre-Mania feud with Alberto Del Rio.
It's almost like Batista's just sitting at the poker table waiting for everybody to make the moves, and then he just goes all in and takes everybody's chips.
I mean, like, I couldn't really think of somebody else you could put him with, since you've got literally fucking 6...
Oh, pretty much mid-cards at that point.
You've literally got 12 of your hypest guys, and I say that as a general term because I do realize I'm also talking about Randy Orton. You've got 12 of your most important guys on the card right now already, like, kind of dealing with each other.
Right.
So, like, who would you put Batista with? I don't know. Like, somebody who's not Del Rio. I don't know. Like, I can't. I'm not Super Booker or a Booker in general, but
Super Booker.
Yeah, Super Booker, King Booker, Super King Booker. But yeah, like, I don't know. It just feels like a cop-out. It doesn't really feel important, and it's not important. It's really not. Like, you got Batista basically just being a bully. Like, he's not even really verbally abusing anybody. He's just like, yeah, I'm Batista. That's cool. And like,
I'm here.
He talks shit to Randy Orton. Is like, yeah, we're going to be in the main event of WrestleMania. Isn't that awesome? Then Randy Orton walks away, like a little pussy. And Del Rio shows up, and this is as much as I've liked Del Rio ever. He's like, I hope you like being in the main event with broken arms because I'm going to break them. Your arms, I mean. And then, like, Batista looks at his arms, and without saying a word, he shoves him. And it's like, then he walks away. It's like, God damn, like, this is pointless. I don't like this.
Yeah. It makes it look like it's a filler match.
Because it is. Yeah, like, that's the problem. I will be surprised as fuck if this match lasts longer than 5 minutes.
Right, like it suddenly becomes a good Del Rio match. Like, what the hell? Yeah, and didn't expect that to open up Elimination Chamber, did you?
Right. And that's the thing. Are they going to open it up? Like, that'd be an interesting way to do that.
Right.
All right. I think we talked about the important Raw stuff. So, how about we do our
mid-card
Elimination Chamber prediction?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess we can get into that. I was just going to see, right quick, if you wanted to comment on Titus O'Neil's heel turn, his mic skills.
Well, I mean, I guess they're all right. Like, they're not bad.
Yeah.
but I need to see him more, I guess. Like, my thing is as good as Titus, as much as Titus O'Neil could be on the mic, like, it really doesn't concern me quite as much as whether or not I'm going to keep seeing Darren Young, because I like him a lot better as far as just like, ring work goes.
Right.
Because I don't, I know the big ass mastodons have their place here and they're usually in the main event, but when it's a feud between two up and coming dudes who were in a tag team, you got the big dude and the little dude.
Mm.
Of course, I want the little dude to win, especially if the big dude's the bad guy.
Right.
But I mean, I don't. I guess we could get into that further during the predictions. What I was about to say next, but
yeah,
he's good. He's good on the mic. He's only going to get better. So, like, as long as he sticks around, and as long as Darren Young actually sticks around, which I don't necessarily see happening, then I'll be happy with it. But I mean, geez, like, fucking, it seems like the mid card doesn't really have anything good going for it right now, and it's kind of a shame. Like, all we're seeing is just Titus O'Neil beating up Darren Young, and then Darren Young, attacking Titus O'Neil. Like, that's
basically
just
Aaron,
all.
Look like Aaron Dirty Laundry or something.
Yeah, there's really no actual feud. There's no story. It's just, oh yeah, this guy doesn't like losing, and he lost when he was in this tag team, so now they're going to fight.
Yeah.
And the only thing we see is them fighting. There's no, I mean, maybe the feud will actually last longer than one pay-per-view. Maybe we'll see them face off again at WrestleMania, or at least maybe the pre-show.
Just a pre-show for WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Well, I think at Elimination Chamber, since this might as well segue into the predictions, it seems like because WWE wants to push Titus O'Neil, and from what I looked up, Vince and Triple H kind of approved of him. He's probably going to win the match.
Oh yeah, he's definitely going to win the match.
Being a heel too, So yeah.
All right. Well, I guess we could go into the predictions here. First, let's start off with the kickoff show. We got this useless tag team match that does nothing.
Nothing.
We got Cody Rhodes and Goldust versus Ryback and Curtis Axel. Four guys who deserve better. Even Curtis Axel. They're just kind of in this tag team match that I don't see having a point to it.
I mean, Goldust and Cody went from being tag champs, now they're just mid pre-show tier.
Oh God! And another thing too, you remember how people were pretty much sure we could guarantee that it was going to be Cody Rhodes versus Goldust at WrestleMania.
Yeah, I wonder how that's going to happen.
It's not, and that's the sad thing. Goldust, I believe it was Goldust. He was like shutting down the possibility of that happening on Twitter. He was saying that the moment has passed. It's just not going to happen. And
the moment has passed.
Yeah, it's sad because it's like, okay, so they don't have a big feud at WrestleMania to send off Goldust, to retire after his big payoff, and to put over Cody like we know they would have done. It basically would have made a great match, especially as good as Goldust has gotten.
Right.
It would have been a great match. It would have been a great WrestleMania moment. Like that, it's just a waste to not have that. And so when you think about it, now Goldust is just going to slowly fade off into the sunset like he's done before. He's not going to have a big send-off like we wanted him to and shit.
It's scary to think that they're just going to be jobbing in the tag team division.
I mean, they might not. Like, I'm going to go ahead and predict that Cody Rhodes and Goldust win this, because I think there's a possibility at WrestleMania that's and actually, I gave my prediction on this match. I think Cody Rhodes and Goldust is going to win it. What do you think?
I think they're gonna win it too. I mean, Ryback and Axel doesn't do anything as a team. They're just two individuals who
Yeah.
teamed up because they were Heyman guys, but that didn't make them a legitimate tag team. You know, but
If you were to actually,
like wrestling ability more convincing, I'd say Goldust and Cody. They're more consistent as a tag team. Just to be serious, you know.
like honestly, I think it would be great if Ryback and Curtis Axel were a legitimate tag team that actually had, like segments so that they could kind of get themselves over as partners.
And that's the thing. They're not really booked as a legitimate tag team. They're just two individuals. Yeah.
So what I'm thinking is that it would be great, fucking great, to just have Paul Heyman come back and actually mentor these guys as a manager. Because if you remember, back in the glory days of tag team wrestling, your tag team always had a godlike fucking manager.
Right.
Like, think of, fucking Jim Cornette loved to manage tag teams.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking, if you've got a manager who's a good mouthpiece, that could get almost anybody over. And, tag team wrestling kind of needs that. Like, if Paul Heyman's involved in it, then it's going to seem more important, just in general.
I agree.
So, get Paul Heyman to manage those two, and then maybe every once in a while, like have Brock Lesnar when he makes his few appearances, like kind of just be shown with them, like not necessarily like getting involved in their matches, but maybe a backstage segment where the two are kind of trying to talk shit or whatever. They got Paul Heyman back there. Maybe Brock Lesnar shows up to wish them luck, as if he's also kind of part of a team because he's also a Paul Heyman guy.
Yeah.
Just kind of add a little bit of depth to it. Make it seem more important. Seem like there's a reason we want to see these guys for whatever reason.
True.
But okay, so the Cody Rhodes and Goldust, we both think they're going to win, and that kind of leads me to my next point. Going into the actual tag team championship match at Elimination Chamber, the New Age Outlaws, current champions, defend their titles against the Usos. And it's about damn time the Usos get a tag team championship shot.
Man, I'm happy about that too.
Yeah. Now, I don't think they're going to win.
Well,
yeah,
I'll let you say what you're saying.
Okay. I think that Outlaws are going to retain. Maybe not clean. I don't think they're gonna retain clean, but that really doesn't matter. I don't think they're going to retain. But I think it's kind of going to set up something at WrestleMania, because it's been too long since the tag team titles have actually been important at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And I think if we had like a big ass fucking 4-way team match,
I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah, like the New Age Outlaws against the Usos, against Cody Rhodes and Goldust. Maybe you could say that since they won this match, they qualified for it. They deserve it or whatever, and then throw in another team, because you still got a few teams. Like tag team division isn't completely dead yet, as if it wasn't risen from the grave yet already. But
yeah, they can scrap
people. Right, you could even have Ryback and Curtis Axel in that match. Why not? Like, maybe this is where you could debut Paul Heyman as the fucking manager. Like, it's like, yeah, they deserve to have this match at WrestleMania because I'm the god.
Yeah, it definitely would be a bigger deal if the Usos won it at WrestleMania.
Right.
Just for being the baby faces of the company's tag team division.
Yeah.
But
either way, they deserve to win it, especially after waiting so long. But at least for this pay-per-view, at least for the Elimination Chamber, I'm going to go with the Outlaws.
Yeah, I was thinking originally of two scenarios. Like, if they were to win at this time, they probably would have to defend in the same type of fatal 4-way situation. But then I guess that would kind of take away from the hype of them winning it on a grand stage.
Yeah, I mean, like, a title change in general is pretty hype, but a title change at WrestleMania, like, that's always ridiculous.
Yeah,
Um, that's why everybody wants, as much as everybody wants to see Daniel Bryan be the champion, they don't want him to win it at Elimination Chamber. They want him to find a way in the main event at WrestleMania and then win it then.
true.
Uh, but yeah, like, you know, just I think it'd be really nice to finally have the tag team titles mean something at WrestleMania again. To kind of showcase them finally.
Yeah, I would like to see them teams actually wanna that are hungry for it wanna actually fight for it.
Yeah,
And yeah, it is believable for the Outlaws to retain because this will be their first meeting with the Usos,
I mean, like,
the first match type meeting, right? Well, no. Like with the titles on the line,
yeah,
obviously.
I mean, like, if you think about it, think about WrestleMania 16 and 17,
Yeah,
where the tag team titles were one of the main events because you had fucking both of those were the three-way ladder matches. You had Edge and Christian versus the Hardys versus the Dudleys,
they do.
uh, and both of those matches were awesome.
Yeah, they were. Those were like classics, the TLC matches and all.
Yeah, and like the tag team division has really never been as important as it was, uh, since then, and it's kind of upsetting because those were great, you know, those were great events. Those were great showcases of how important the tag team titles were to just these six guys. Like, they were willing to fucking put each other through tables and ladders and shit like that just to hold on to these titles. And it's a great way to put over a title in general when you got people killing themselves.
Yeah, how the
Just
times change.
Yeah. So yeah, I know they're not going to have a ladder match at WrestleMania, but like I kind of hope that at least we get to see the titles defended and changing hands at WrestleMania.
Yeah, that's reasonable.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Outlaws retaining for this match.
Yeah, me too.
All right, next I guess Darren Young versus Titus O'Neil.
Kind of already talked about it.
And without talking about it further, I'm just going to assume it's going to be Titus O'Neil winning this one.
Me too.
We got Batista versus Alberto Del Rio.
Squash match.
Yep, it's either going to be a squash match in Batista's favor, or literally they're going to just fucking completely rewrite everything, and they're going to say, "Oh man, we fucked up by having Batista win the Rumble." These fans, so they're going to not legitimately, but kayfabe. They're going to kayfabe lit Alberto Del Rio, break Batista's arms, and then he won't be in the main event at WrestleMania.
Right.
But that's highly unlikely, so I'm going to assume Batista is going to be the one to just completely decimate Alberto Del Rio. And it's a good thing that this match probably won't be longer than 5 minutes, because I don't know if Batista will be able to fucking handle anything longer than 5 minutes.
High profile matches.
Yeah. Okay, so other than that, we got the Intercontinental Championship on the line. Big E versus Jack Swagger. Kind of another unimportant match, and like it kind of sucks to say that, because it's the Intercontinental Championship. Literally now the number 2 belt in the company, and this match doesn't feel like it matters.
It can even be the first match.
Yeah, it might be the first match. Like the Intercontinental Championship used to be a big deal. Now it's not. And I want that to come back so bad. But as much as I think Big E and Jack Swagger could have a good match, I don't necessarily think it will be a good match. Not necessarily because the guys involved, but just because I don't think they're going to really get a lot of time.
It's probably gonna just be the obvious Big E lands blows in the beginning. Jack Swagger gains momentum throughout a lot of the match. Then Big E comes back, clean win type of deal. Yeah.
It's probably, if not, you can't really call it a squash match because both these guys are big dudes. Big E's obviously bigger as far as the muscles go, but
right.
Like Jack Swagger, he could be a competitor, man. Like fucking, when I first saw him, I obviously hated him because I was a little Jimmy back then. And I hated new guys. Like I always hated new guys back in the day. I was like, what the fuck's this guy doing here? I want to see fucking, God, who did I want to see back in those days? Chris Benoit.
Right.
I want to see Chris Benoit or Eddie Guerrero or, I don't want to see fucking Heidenreich.
Hide.
Right. That's what I was like back in those days. Obviously nowadays I have a different opinion on shit like that, but like even back then when I first saw him, I was like, man, I think he might be able to beat Kurt Angle someday. Maybe that's just because I was a kid and they kind of wore the same outfit, but
right, they both guys that had the mat wrestling style.
Yeah, but I mean that's all it takes. Like Jack Swagger could be great. Like there's nothing stopping him from being great except for apparently really liking marijuana.
Right. We the people.
Yeah. But it kind of saddens me that he's a former fucking world champion.
Man.
Nothing pisses me off more than knowing that, because you shouldn't ever bury world champions.
Especially WWE champions.
If they were once world heavyweight champion, then they should always be a big deal. And if something changed your opinion of them after they won it, then maybe you shouldn't have fucking let them win it so soon.
Yeah. It's kind of...
What's that?
Well, I was just going to say it kind of reminds me of The Miz, because he had the WWE title and he was hot for like a while, but now it's like he's doing behind the scenes non-important work with WWE.
Yeah, it's tragic, because just think about if that shit would have happened to The Rock.
Mm.
And it obviously wouldn't, because he's fucking The Rock, but thinking about a similar thing, look at Mick Foley, for example. He won the WWF title. I don't know if he won it more than once, but I know he won it once. And I can tell you for damn sure that he didn't win it a shitload of times.
Yeah.
But every time he was featured, he was always a big deal. Like, during the one, mid-card match I remember him having, was at 2004's Backlash, I think it was, when he faced Randy Orton for the Intercontinental title in a hardcore match.
Uh-huh.
That was still a big deal. But
it was.
But you got guys like The Miz and Jack Swagger and Dolph Ziggler, fucking these guys who have all been a WWE or World Heavyweight Champion or both, and now they're just kind of fucking the drizzling shits down at the lowest portion of the card that they can be at. And it's like, these guys are former World Heavyweight Champions. It blows my mind. Like, you got to suspend your disbelief big time, or you could at least, if you're gonna bury them, do an angle as to why they're not as good as supposedly they were when they had the titles.
Mm-hmm.
Because how is it believable that a former world champion, Jack Swagger, just starts losing to tag team champion? Not even tag team champion, just tag team wrestlers.
Right.
How is that believable?
It's a whole new low, basically.
Right. If you gave us a reason to, Jack Swagger will never be the same after he got his penis chopped off, maybe then we'll believe why this world heavyweight champion,
damn it, Kai.
Right. Why this world champion is no longer doing good at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's kind of a rant, I guess, but
yeah.
As far as predictions for this match, I kind of don't know. Big E could probably go over because he's still Big E. and Jack Swagger's still Jack Swagger. But
and it's the Intercontinental Championship.
right. But I suppose one possible scenario has Jack Swagger actually winning, and if Jack Swagger wins, and maybe Cesaro doesn't win, maybe that would actually cause some dissension, maybe some jealousy, maybe some cockiness on Jack Swagger's part. Like, he's sitting there like, yeah, you were talking big shit a while ago, but look who's a champion now, biatch. And then, that leads to their breakup, maybe. Maybe Cesaro turns face because of it.
I can see that, too, because obviously we've been seeing Cesaro get the bigger push between the two for previous weeks.
I mean, like, looking at it, you see Cesaro getting wins, and Swagger loses every time he can. And Zeb Coulter gets pissed off about it, and, he slapped fucking Jack Swagger a few times. Maybe they pull a complete 180. Jack Swagger suddenly wins his match. Cesaro doesn't win his. So now Zeb, he starts putting the heat on Cesaro. He's like, what happened to you? Like, Jack Swagger goes out there and he wins.
Oh.
And then they're like, you know why you didn't win? Because you're not even a real American.
Yeah, some crap like that.
And then suddenly we get some guy who's not even, who's technically a foreign heel, suddenly becoming the all-American face, and he's like, what are you meaning about? I love American. And then fucking Hulk Hogan comes out and he's like, yeah, I love Cesaro. He's a real American, brother. And then at WrestleMania we get Jack Swagger with Zeb Coulter in his corner versus Cesaro with Hulk Hogan in his corner.
So that's the Hulk Hogan appearance we've been rumored about.
Yeah. You never know. Like, this is all just weird fantasy booking, but I mean, you never know. It could happen.
Yeah.
But as far as an actual prediction goes, I don't know, man. Like, it's this feud. Literally, like, I don't even know if it's a feud. It came out of nowhere for me. I think I'm just gonna go with Jack Swagger. I'm gonna go with that because I hope that what I just said happens. That's what I'm gonna go with.
Yeah. Let me see. Well, Big E, he had the title for a few months, and I mean, there's not really much reasons to him losing it. I'd say he might keep it for a while longer until he really faces somebody.
Yeah.
Until someone really comes out of his way to take it from him.
Yeah.
Because he kind of is just like the fighting champ right now, not really tied to a specific opponent, but he just goes out and defends the belt.
Yeah.
With all his glory.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be kind of lame for him to lose the title in his very first feud.
Right. Damn, that would suck.
I mean, but it's the Intercontinental title, and they haven't really made it important in a long time. So, if you think about it, when Axel lost it to Big E, was that the culmination of a feud? I can't even remember if they feuded for it. Because it's just fucking lost in my memories. But basically, Axel was spending most of his time feuding with CM Punk in non-title matches, and then he finally loses it to somebody who's not CM Punk.
You get distracted then, yeah.
Right. All right. So
that's that part.
Next, we got the main event. At least I hope it's the fucking main event.
Right.
We forgot one. We forgot one match before that.
Oh yeah, the 6-man tag. Okay.
Yeah, the Shield versus the Wyatt family. How could we forget that? Maybe because it's so obvious who's going to win.
Yeah.
Yep. We talked about this one already, so we're not going to get into too many details. The Wyatt family's going to win. Like, I'm not even worried about that. Like, that's kind of the obvious way they're going.
Too much dissension with the Shield just is going to lead to the downfall.
Yep, that's what everyone's thinking.
Mm-hmm.
That's my thoughts on it, and I'm looking forward to seeing the match. I'm hoping it's as good as I think it's going to be. And you got 6 guys in there that can actually put on a match, so it's going to be hard for it to be bad.
Yeah, I know the Shield is probably going to be doing most of the high flying stuff, obviously.
Well, yeah.
Well, yeah, because I'm not going to see like a flying Luke Harper. Ah!
Right. But
Splash.
all I can say is give these guys 20 minutes. Like that's it. I want to see a big long match, like longer than 20 minutes. Fuck it, give them like 30 minutes.
Right.
Is Batista versus Del Rio? Is that going to make you pressed for time?
Right.
You need to cut 5 minutes from the tag match to give more to Batista and Del Rio.
Let him jump Batista before the match starts and
Right.
injure his arms there.
Right. So the Wyatts are going to win. What do you think?
Wyatt's, I agree too.
Yep. Okay. Now on to the main event.
Yes.
Okay, we got the the WWE World Heavyweight Champion,
Yep.
Randy Orton, defending in the Elimination Chamber against Christian, Sheamus, John Cena, Cesaro, and Daniel Bryan.
Mm-hmm.
We talked a bit about the actual goings-on of this match earlier, but as far as who could win it, there's actually, like, with a six-man, with basically 6 possibilities, like, it's actually not super cut and dry this time. Like, with the Wyatts versus the Shield, you know who's going to win.
Yeah.
Batista versus Del Rio, obvious.
Yeah.
And the other matches don't necessarily matter who's going to win.
Right.
But this match, it's like, you know, this match is going to affect the main event of WrestleMania. So Elimination Chamber is just as important as the Royal Rumble.
I like that it doesn't feel as one-sided as it was starting to feel around when Punk had left. You know, but because, you know, seeing Cesaro actually do something and not just feel like he was thrown into the match.
Oh, yeah. Like, right now, it doesn't feel like that there's a Kofi Kingston in this match.
Right. I see what you mean.
Yeah. Like, and I love Kofi Kingston. I'm not knocking him or anything. But whenever he's in a chamber match for the fucking main title...
He's the YOLO participant.
Yeah, it's like, come on now. And I mean, I guess you could call Christian that, but at least he's a former World Heavyweight Champion.
Yeah.
Who has actually been treated as such, kind of.
Yeah, kind of.
You know, he's nowhere near as far down the ladder as Jack Swagger is, as far as that, but, you know, like, he's still treated as a big deal. So, I can't say for sure who's going to win, but I can tell you who's not. I can tell you Christian's not going to win.
Agreed.
That's at least the one thing.
I don't think Sheamus is going to win either.
Yeah, I think he's going to do his own thing. Who knows with who, but I'm sure he's going to be at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
As far as these other guys, John Cena's probably not going to win because like they're still probably going to have that feud with the Wyatts for WrestleMania. I mean, really, it feels like it's hard to say because as much as I want Bryan to win at WrestleMania and not here, like, I really don't want to see Randy Orton winning this match, at least not clean. And I know it's kind of hard to, you know, say clean or dirty in a fucking chamber match, but, like, you think about it, you know, there's been run-ins in chamber matches before. There's been foul play. So the way I see it, the chamber match...
Director of Operations.
Right. I see it as Bryan possibly losing due to direct interference from one of the Authority's lackeys.
I agree.
And he gets upset about it, and it either leads into his feud with Triple H at the WrestleMania, or they actually fucking say, you know, they put him in the main event because, you know, maybe Bryan and let's say Randy Orton make it to the final 2. And Bryan gets screwed out of it by maybe having Kane, like, bust through the fucking floor or something. And then Bryan's like, you know, that's fucking bullshit. You guys are dickheads. Maybe you should give me that rematch and shit. And they're like, all right, fucking put him in the main event at WrestleMania. Then you got a triple threat.
At this point, WrestleMania would be the biggest payoff for the fans.
Oh yeah,
Because, I mean, yeah, if he's just defending it, anytime someone defends a title at WrestleMania, it's not as significant as if they earn it or win it.
right. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
like the fucking payoff for the main title changing hands at WrestleMania. Like, there's a reason why every fucking Stone Cold match where he was fighting for the title, he was not defending it at WrestleMania. He was winning it at WrestleMania.
Right.
Like WrestleMania 15, yeah. Was it 15? Yeah, 15 against Shawn Michaels. He was winning it.
Mm-hmm.
16, he wasn't there. 17 against The Rock.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no. 14 was against HBK. My bad.
Mm-hmm.
Even then, he won it from HBK. 15 was against The Rock. The Rock was defending. He won it. Stone Cold, I mean. He won the title at WrestleMania. WrestleMania 17. Wait, was he the champion at 17?
That was the one during the Alliance era, was it?
Yeah, but I can't remember if he was the champion or not. I want to say The Rock was the one that was defending at 17.
I think so. Because I know the second time the title did change hands. And then, like, Stone Cold beat The Rock twice and they fought at 19. Playing some drums.
I just got to check because this will kill me. It's 15. Oh, Wikipedia. Come on. Where are you at? You know what? I'm just going to Wikipedia WrestleMania 17. It's so easy. I'd like to apologize to our 4 fans that have to sit here and wait for me to literally do research as we're doing the show.
Doing research.
Right? Absolutely. Okay. Yep, The Rock was champion.
Yep.
So, yeah. So, every single time Stone Cold had a WWF Championship match at WrestleMania, he was the challenger.
Right.
And that's kind of that's what we want to see, We want to see Daniel Bryan go in there and win the title, not defend it. Although, really, just having the title on him would be better than nothing at this point, because they're driving me nuts with this.
Right. Because he would be defending against Batista, and I guess another way it can go is if he did win at the Chamber, then all the Bryan fans get to see him kick Batista's ass, and that's like a satisfaction right there.
Now, alternatively, and I'm going to get into fantasy booking here again, say Randy loses, maybe John Cena wins, and it comes down to Cena versus maybe Daniel Bryan as the final 2 in the Chamber, and Daniel Bryan loses due to due to shit. I don't know.
Due to a non-heel turn from John Cena.
due to anything. Maybe he doesn't lose clean, but not because John Cena was cheating, just because he was screwed, whatever.
Right.
Maybe fucking Daniel Bryan comes out and he's still pissed again, but instead of giving him the match at WrestleMania in a 3-way, they're like, Daniel Bryan, you're good and everything, but you're not as godlike as Batista.
Oh.
So we're going to have Batista put his Royal Rumble thing on the line, because they do this all the time.
Yeah.
So they have a match where it's Daniel Bryan versus Batista on a Raw or whatever for the Royal Rumble spot.
Right.
Then, Randy Orton comes in. Maybe he already lost his rematch or something, on a Raw, because they like to do that shit too. Mm-hmm. He already lost his title rematch, so he's pissed off. So he comes in there and he fucks over Batista because he doesn't want to see Batista win, because, they're old buddies and stuff, and they're already still working on a feud. Like, it doesn't really need to have a title, So he fucks over Batista, and Batista's pissed off because now he doesn't get to headline WrestleMania, so now he wants to beat the shit out of Randy Orton.
That'd be a legitimate feud, not just a Del Rio fight me.
Right. So suddenly, at WrestleMania, we get to have Batista versus Randy Orton without the title on the line, which would still be a good feud and not a bad match necessarily.
Because the title isn't on the line.
Then we get to see the rematch that never happened, John Cena versus Daniel Bryan for the title at the main event of WrestleMania.
Huh.
Like, there's a lot of different ways they can finagle it. It's not hopeless, is basically what I'm getting to. But as far as who I think will win, shit. I don't even know if I could say. You know what? I'm just gonna let my.
I think this is one of those few events where you just enjoy it as a wrestling fan and not try to predict the outcome, because WWE might do something surprising.
Yeah.
You know.
But I mean, just for the sake of argument, I guess I'm gonna throw my hat on Randy Orton. I'm just going to assume he manages to pull it off somehow, whether it be clean or dirty or what have you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna, predict that it'll be him.
See, I don't think it's Cena. I think Cesaro's going to do an amazing showing and look like he's about to get the title. But given that, Bryan winning at WrestleMania will be the best circumstance, I'd say probably Orton will retain because of BS, because, director of operations or some bullshit, so.
Now, as an added kind of stipulation of what I want to see, if Randy Orton does lose, I want him to get pinned by Christian. If Randy Orton loses, I want it to be because of Christian, because they do not let Christian beat Randy Orton. And I want to see that so bad.
That would actually be pretty funny.
Yeah.
It paid off.
Yeah. And then, as Christian's celebrating, he immediately turns around into the Bro Kid and gets fucking pinned. Just as kind of a fuck you to the fans and shit. But yeah, that's I guess there's our predictions for our predictions and analysis, I guess you could say, of Elimination Chamber this Sunday. And that brings me to another subject. I know we're almost we've already gone over our hour here, but I got another subject. The WWE Network.
Yep.
We talked about this before. I remember, I think it was episode 4, maybe 5.
5, I believe, yeah.
Where I said the WWE Network should be marketed towards the internet fans.
Mm-hmm.
And I say that because fucking the best target audience to have is the internet fans. And I bring that up because I remember how I was saying how if I found a way to get the money, I would totally get it. Well, just so happened that at that time I forgot it was tax season. So I'm getting my tax returns, so you better believe I'll be able to fucking put up $60 for
cashing in.
Yeah, so hell yeah. So now, you've got documented proof. This is me. I've never personally myself paid for anything wrestling related. Well, I paid for video games, but even then they were usually used, so they weren't getting my money still,
Right.
But
right.
This, officially WWE has now gotten one internet fan who has never spent money on them to spend money on them.
Yeah, and of course I'll be getting it too. It's
Yeah.
pretty good deal. They actually will give you the 1-week trial, so that was a smart call because at least people can enjoy it or experience it without being, I got to commit the $60. What if it freezes day one and all that? Yeah.
And I had forgotten about the 1-week trial because I don't know if I'm going to have my tax returns by the time it comes out, by fucking Monday, but I'm sure I'll have it by the time it comes out next Monday.
I like that I'll be able to buy the network by the time the free trial ends.
Right, yeah. So, yeah, I'm buying it. You said you're buying it.
Yeah.
Fucking WWE has our money now. Shit.
Damn. All right.
They have successfully gotten 2 people that technically the WWE did not care about You know, you ask Vince how he feels about internet fans, he'll tell you he don't like them.
Uh-huh.
They don't spend money. Well, guess what? You got us to spend money.
Gotcha.
So maybe, just now, Vince, maybe, please, listen to us when we tell you that we want no more John Cena versus Randy Orton. No Batista versus Randy Orton. Hell, you know what? Just get rid of Randy Orton, maybe induct him into the Hall of Fame next year, and then have him leave. Have him leave
in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, like shit. Oh, speaking of the Hall of Fame, I can't wait to see that shit.
Yeah.
I'm finally gonna get to watch a Hall of Fame.
Jake the Snake.
Yeah.
Lita.
Oh man,
I know, right? Ultimate Warrior.
Like, see, Ultimate Warrior, Jake the Snake, and there was another guy too. I forgot. Or was there? Jake the Snake.
There's only been 3 so far.
There's only been 3. Okay.
Yeah.
Jake the Snake and Ultimate Warrior. You know, I know who they are. Obviously, they're legends, but they weren't my time. You know, they weren't. They were my dad's. They were my dad's guys.
Yeah.
So when I see Lita in there, like that's my main event. You know, like Lita being in there.
Yeah, I can understand it. It's kind of fake hype to you if you just hype because you know about their legacy.
Right. Like I actually got a chance to grow and experience Lita. Lita was my favorite diva back then.
She was amazing.
She's still pretty much my favorite now. She's obviously not my favorite active one because she's not active.
Right.
That would be AJ Lee. But you know, as far as divas go overall, I'd still probably say Lita's my favorite because she's awesome.
Yeah. She crossed the line. She wasn't the normal cliche diva.
And it helps that she's a fiery redhead.
Right.
Who's not Hollywood beautiful, you know?
Right.
She's kind of got a face that's you know, that if she wasn't, you know, athletic and half naked all the time, that maybe not everyone would want to bang constantly, you know?
Right, yeah, she doesn't have that 1 million fans, you know.
Yeah. She doesn't have that Stacy Keibler face.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that Lita's unattractive. Hell no. I love Lita. Lita's like fucking hot. She looks
normal.
She looks like a girl next door with, you know, rock hard abs. And that's one of the things I like about her. Speaking of a perfect segue,
I was thinking about that too.
Yeah, we're about to end our show here. We do our Diva of the Week. And actually, I kind of want to give a little bit of a backstory on that now. The Diva of the Week actually originated as me just kind of having an idea to just say, like, random off-the-wall shit as we end the show. Now, it just so happens that both times that I did that, it was about a WWE diva.
Right.
So we kind of just let it take that.
It became a thing.
And it became our Diva of the Week. And I don't know about you, but I don't really... of the week is normally just an off the top of my head kind of thing.
It's not. It's pretty much you have to really think of it. Well, I guess that'd be off the top.
Yeah.
But it's not spontaneous if you have to think about it.
Yeah, like it's you know, I don't spend all week thinking about who I want it to be.
Right.
Basically. It's on the spot. I'm like, oh man, who's our Diva of the Week gonna be? You know, like It's like we're sitting here doing it now. Fucking, we're 15 minutes over the hour, and we still don't have a Diva of the Week. Out of laziness, I guess you could say, I let fucking Glenn. That's your name.
Out of laziness.
I let Glenn. Yeah. Well, last week was out of laziness, but the week before, you took control of it. You were like, yeah, I know exactly who we want to have be Diva of the Week this week.
Uh-huh.
It was a good choice. Definitely
good.
Good
Thank you.
choice.
I agree. It was a great choice.
Yeah. This week, I think I'm going to take the reins again. This week, I'm going to give it to my first experience with an Asian WWE diva.
Oh, I think I know who it is.
It's Gail Kim.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, and here's the thing. I love Gail Kim in general, and I've said this to, well, I don't know if I've said it on the show or not, but I know I've said it to Glenn many times. I love Gail Kim as long as she's not talking. Because, she's hot, she's also cute.
And athletic.
She's athletic. She's actually a pretty decent technical wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
And she was one of my top favorites, mostly because she's Asian and I love Asians, but
yeah,
she had a lot of good factors. But do not let her cut a heel promo. Oh my fucking god.
Yeah, she was amazing especially when she first showed up in WWE with the whole Matrix gimmick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, fucking Gail Kim, she's Asian, obviously.
Right.
And one thing that Asian women have a lot are high-pitched, squeaky, nasally voices. And, I'm not necessarily saying that's a bad thing. Like I said, I love Asian women,
mm-hmm.
especially Asian women.
Mm-hmm.
But when you have a heel Asian woman in a wrestling promotion...
in a wrestling promotion at that.
In a wrestling promotion, they are going to take what they consider to be a bitch, they're going to amp it up to 11, and they're going to yell.
You didn't see nothing with Vicky.
So,
you haven't seen anything with Vicky Guerrero.
Oh, I mean, obviously Vicky wins that contest, but
yeah.
But I mean, think about Gail Kim, someone hot like that, but then when she opens her mouth, she sounds like just 2 small tones lower than Vicky Guerrero, and it kind of doesn't help. It's like, oh man. So yeah, so I love Gail Kim, but don't give her a microphone.
Yeah. She's just like a silent assassin or something.
Yeah, dude, make her come back as a ninja. She could be a female ninja. Never talk.
Not to even be racist about Asian.
Yeah. Still wearing tight clothes. Make her wear, and not everybody who watches this, of the 3 people that actually listen, make her wear what Taki from the Soul series wears. Taki from Soul Calibur. During the video, put a picture of Taki from Soul Calibur. Just have Gail Kim wear that. That'd be hot. I'd love that shit.
I can see that. But yeah, I guess, we're almost 20 minutes over, so yeah, we might as well end it here. We've talked about lots.
The only thing we didn't get to was TNA, and it seems to be a trend.
MVP's song is great, Return of the Ronin. That's a great song. He basically went nostalgic against, what's dude's name again? Dude again.
Rockstar Spud.
Rockstar Spud. Let me see. Joe put on a good match.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, I want to correct myself. A couple of weeks ago, I said that's, the Wolves and MVP were losing their debut match.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously I was wrong. Apparently, when I read the spoilers, I was reading, weeks in advance, and I didn't realize how many weeks I had skipped.
How many weeks?
But, I don't know. I forget. I think the things that I was talking about happen tomorrow, actually. The whole with Austin Aries turning heel and shit.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's tomorrow's episode. Spoilers, by the way.
Spoilers, damn it. Damn it, I wanted to watch that.
Right.
Yeah, but overall, the Wolves, they teamed up with Joe against Bro Mans and DJ Zima. They put on a pretty nice show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't a bad episode, and it kind of sucks that we're downplaying Impact a lot recently, when the recent episodes have been the best it's been in a while, and I think a lot of that has to do with the UK fans. They've got so many fans there in the UK.
UK is always happy.
Yeah. By the way, I had an idea for TNA, and I don't want to get too into this because we technically ended the show 5 minutes ago.
Yeah.
But my idea since TNA is only going to have 4 pay-per-views a year now, how about you stop doing the fake pay-per-views, like on episodes of Impact. Stop doing that. Just have and then hold your pay-per-views in the UK. Have your pay-per-views be nice, long, 3.5-hour pay-per-views, so that it'll actually be worth coming out there, so that your UK fans will flock to it, fill up the arena. That way your pay-per-views will look like big deals. Because it doesn't matter. Yeah, it doesn't matter how little fans you have in episodes of Impact. If you fill up those pay-per-views, it's going to look great.
It's not a bad idea, actually. But then I guess people overseas would be like, damn, man, do I want to go to the UK to watch Bound for Glory? Well, it's Bound for Glory, I guess, so.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, nobody's coming anyway.
Right.
Had a shit ton of fans that wanted to see them in America, they would be in this position.
Mm-hmm.
So, take your pay-per-views, take your 4 pay-per-views a year to a place that actually wants to see them, and you're good. Like, you fucking make bank like that.
Yeah, and look at the demographics, which arenas have given you hype.
Yeah.
But
all right.
Yeah, let's wrap it up.
We've gone too long past the runoff here.
I'm hungry.
All right.
I'm just kidding.
You have been listening to MAWS Talks Wrestling. I am your co-host, Lunakage.
And I'm Glenburg.
And we will see you next week.
See you guys. Have a good night.
Peace.